Welcome to another Tuesday in the beautiful retail auto industry. We are 1 week away from the year-end extravaganza, but today we're talking about inventory is up, mobile service, out of title paper, and ChatGPT. Have you heard about that yet?
Heard about it just a wee bit.
Once or twice? We
Yeah,
haven't talked about it, so I figured we need to talk about it at the end of the show.
We have to talk
Because
about
if we start with it, we'll talk about it for the whole show,
15
which we're already
minutes
kind of there.
over. Yeah, not possible.
Hey, 1 week from today, Kyle, you know what's going on? Do you know what's going on a week from today?
The year-end extravaganza. That's the new thing right there. That's the new line for it.
I'll take it. That's a good one. It's a good one. Yeah, at this time next week, we will be setting up, floating in cameras, producers, lights, band. It's all going to be happening, getting ready for our live stream, which is from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to have a full Jimmy Fallon style Tonight Show with a band. Michael Cirillo is going to be on the mic. You and I are going to be interviewing people. We have a game show built into this.
Yeah, which is just super fun. Like, we're just going to break up the noise, get a little crazy right in the middle of it. So you're going to get a whole bunch of great information.
Competitive?
And oh my goodness.
There might be a fight on stage.
It's going to get sideways. I'm just telling you right now, it will get sideways. It's going to be great.
Yeah. So, but we're also, it's not all fun and games. We're going to have, again, Tonight Show format. We're going to talk about the year in review, talk about what some of the savviest dealers and industry partners are thinking about the year ahead. And it's meant to be an entertaining 2 hours where you learn a little something, you smile a lot, and you just say, you know what? I love the industry that I'm in. If you don't walk away from the year in extravaganza like that, then we have completely failed.
There you go. Hey, we're going to do it though. It'll be fun. I think.
What else are we talking about before we talk about the news?
We got two things, and you don't even know about one of them. So one of them is that we're just sharing out that TrueCar is doing their I Need a TrueCar sweepstakes. If you go to the link in the show notes, you're going to find the I Need a TrueCar piece, and it'll tell you all about how to get your customers entered in utilizing Reels or TikToks to get a potential $5,000 of cash that they could potentially use to order a car. Maybe
that's great. I can't think of a dealer out there that doesn't want $5,000 of TrueCar's money to go into one of their deals.
There you go.
I can't think of a single one.
All of them.
What's the second thing that I don't know about?
Is yesterday we were on the phone and I cannot get this out of my head. We were on the phone with someone and we were talking about some financial stuff and business planning and all that. And there was this phrase that came up, and it just has to be practical, not necessarily right. And now the context was a little bit different, but this phrase I think actually relates to a lot of things in business and analytics and understanding data. And I was running around in my head, especially like when we look at website analytics or Google Analytics or the data associated with digital spend or anything like that. And there's always these questions around like, what should your cost per click be? What should the time on site be? What's your bounce rate? How many lead conversions are you getting? All of this like data on the website, data in the ecosystem of digital spend. What's your cost per car sold? And I think that what I've come to realize over the years is like, there are so many different opinions. But the reality is that based on your business, based on your ecosystem, your community, the way you sell cars, your margins, all of that, is that it might not necessarily be like there's a right answer to that. There's an out and out, just true, like final answer everybody gets to agree to. But as long as it's practical for your business, makes sense to the bottom line, that you can pull levers based on what impacts the bottom line, hey, that's practical enough. And so just thinking like, as people are planning into 2023 and trying to go like, what's the silver bullet for my marketing, my digital, my showroom, traffic, all that type of stuff. Don't like only look at your 20 group or, other competitors across the street. Like, look at your business, the practical levers that you have to move to be successful in 2023 and pull on those levers, not someone else's. So,
speaking of things that are going to make us successful in 2023,
come on,
okay.
Time. Yeah.
Cox Automotive data shows that new inventory has increased. Yes, you heard that right. It has gone up by another 150,000 vehicles as presented in their monthly industry update. Their whole economic and industry insights team gives out a presentation. We linked it up in the show notes. So basically saying a stream of increases from June to now has 2022 sitting 78% higher than we were in 2021 at the same point.
Wow.
Although inventory, note, still below 2019 levels. No crap. Like, we got that. November ended with 1.61 million vehicles in dealer inventory, with some variation between brands based on, their strategies. But let's remember, this is great. This is actually a line from our daily email, by the way. If you don't get it, you need to get it, because our lead writer, Chris, has some great little stingers at the end. So here's what he put at the end of this that showed up in the inbox today. He said, let's remember, though, a return to 2019 inventory levels does not equal a return to 2019 dealership strategies.
You know what's nuts? Chris wasn't even in the auto business in 2019, and he knows
barely had a car.
Come on.
Yeah, it's just a great reminder, right? Like, inventory levels, as they come back, let's not revert to the things that were bad about, the bad things that came from with the excess inventory, right? Yep. All of the floor planning and all of the incentive mongering and all of the tactics that built distrust in the consumer mindset. But it's good to see inventory coming back up.
It is. And that's different depending on the manufacturer. You look at some manufacturers and they have, they're getting close to that 90-day supply on ground. And you got other manufacturers that are still sitting at a 5-day supply, that are still waiting on vehicles. So it's still a dynamic in depending on the OEM. But to see a wider supply of vehicles on lots, I think is actually, we're in a healthy place right now. My fear is that it could go to unhealthy. So we'll just kind of see what 2023
I'll pretend that don't think it's going to go to unhealthy just for this segment.
Just for this segment. You'll pretend.
Just for this
and your voice doesn't tell the story at all.
Not even close. Not even close. Oh, well, let's just move. We'll just hit a stop there so we can stop talking. Next story. AutoNation. This one's near and dear to my heart. I relate to this story so much. AutoNation, I'll tell you why. The largest U.S. new vehicle retailer, as you know, has agreed to acquire Los Angeles-based RepairSmith, one word, for $190 million to expand its on-site service offering for $190 million bucks. Basically, you get it. There's a van. The tech goes to the customer, fixes their car on site, whether that's on site for dealership services or on site for retail customers. It's part of their expansion to get into the after-sales service market. I love it, honestly.
It's absolutely genius. And I think that one, it's a customer experience thing. It takes the onus of anything service and repairs on the dealership and less on the customer. The opportunity for buying vehicles off the street because the customer is just kind of in a comfortable place is massive, in my opinion.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Everybody gets a price while you're there. You can do a condition report, do the little OBD2. Brian Kramer's going to pop out of the trunk and stick that OBD2 thing in there and show people how easy it is.
Yeah. And I also think that the benefit here is you don't have to, there's been a lot of talk kind of about building over the last 10 years, and a few manufacturers have tried it, but about building like service centers throughout the city, just because like we don't have the number of service centers of Firestone or a Valvoline or anything like this. This reduces the need for that. And AutoNation sees themselves as a partner to OEMs, and the ability to service vehicles in a radius is really, really important as OEMs are trying to figure out the serviceability in a tightening like dealership network. So AutoNation is just hedging their bets on like changing lots of tires in driveways,
Yeah. Well, I don't think they change tires. They'll rotate tires. I know a lot about this type of business because of my first business, Image Auto, right? Vans, equipment in vans, showing up, doing service, digital system. Go to repairsmith.com. I perused the site this morning. They have a really nice site, little nice video on what it's like to be a RepairSmith technician. And like, look, like you have like the Teslas and the mobile service, bringing the service there. The truth is, it's very feasible. You need less and less major equipment to do it, right? Even we talk about the serviceable items on an EV, even.
Yep.
Yeah. Put all those in a Sprinter van. Typically speaking, the 3-year cars and newer are the majority of the cars that they service, according to the article. So, hey, takes a while to figure out how to do this on your own. So they just said, you know what? We got 190 million.
Whoop. Just there it is.
Scoop it up.
So smart. So smart.
Oh,
I'm
hurting for segues today. I'm hurting for segues.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just gonna stop. We just get the stop button. Just get the stop button when we do that.
The Tuesday drag on segues is brutal.
It's tough. We'll redeem this. Well, the first one was so strong, right? From your like insight into the first story. I think we just spent all our segue mojo
all the
on
segue
that one.
Energy right there.
All right. Well, listen, speaking of sucking all the energy out of things.
Stop.
Segue time. We'll do that.
There you go.
As if we needed one more inconvenience at a dealership, the specialized paper
So crazy
that you use to print titles on. If you ever look at that paper, it's pretty complicated.
Right.
It's become scarce. There's a shortage of title printing paper causing delays and confusion with car dealers and owners. Basically, the blame is increased. What would they say? Because we've been making so much cardboard that we're having a hard time getting the title paper. I don't buy it because we've been making a lot of cardboard for like the last few years. Right.
I don't know. It's just, it's like the one thing after another. And you're like, we're going to talk about paper, but I get like, and not just that, but this is what's scary to me is like the titling process, the registration process is one of the biggest customer complaint areas in the dealership because it's all of that like post-sale stuff that customers are always like, what's going on? What's happening? What's next? Is this getting done? Is that getting done?
Yeah,
because the communication has a gap between like salesperson to accounting to customer. And how does that flow at that point? And when already like DMVs are struggling with staffing over the last couple of years, and now you like, if they have the staff, they can't even get the titles out. Like you put it in the show notes, but digital titles. Maybe.
Yeah, some states. I think they have a list of states that are like moving forward in that. I think Massachusetts, maybe California, maybe Texas, maybe. But digital titles make sense. I can't wait till I have my driver's license on my phone. Right? I almost don't need my wallet. I almost don't need it. I mean, not like I need.
And if you could
actually
just
look
NFC, if
I wonder how much this title paper is worth. I actually have one right here.
There you go.
It's the title for the Land Cruiser.
Like, shred that up.
Can I recycle this?
Like
but I mean, I look at it and it's got like a watermark of the Statue of Liberty. Yeah. It's got all kinds of special security features in it. I don't know. I don't know. But there you go. I'm holding a valuable thing in my hand right now. Yeah, so we'll see. But regardless, dealers are always creative to find a way to get things done anyway. But so the old power of attorney, right?
Yeah.
Printed on good old
dealers,
fashioned.
It's just a good
pound printer
communication.
paper.
Let your people know so they can let their customers know that, hey, title work maybe taking a little bit longer time just because.
Share this podcast with them.
There you go.
Look, even these two jabrones with beards and hats know that there's a title shortage.
Let's go.
Shortage. Oh, and if we can't find the words, we'll just have a computer give them to you. Speaking of computers giving us words.
Stop.
Segue time. Maybe we should just have ChatGPT write segues for us before the show. You've probably heard about it around. If not, you're about to. ChatGPT is a large language model trained by a company it's a company, right? OpenAI, that generates human-like text on a wide range of topics based on input by a user. It's an AI research lab focusing on developing and promoting friendly AI, looking to benefit humanity as a whole. And everything I just read to you was written by ChatGPT.
There you go.
I said, explain ChatGPT in a few sentences.
And it gave you some bullet points. There you go. So interestingly enough, if you haven't heard of GPT or GPT-3, which is the most recent version, ChatGPT is actually on is actually on GPT 3.5 and 4 is coming out soon. But GPT-3 has been utilized by a bunch of different AI services, things like copy.ai, to leverage it in like copywriting in particular and prose writing. But what the change is now is that you can actually start to ask it questions. Like it has a native learning that can also engage with someone. And so, the copy side of things has been done and is actually available via an API that a lot of different services are plugged into. And there have been businesses using it, but ChatGPT has kind of like open sourced it, given the accessibility so that it can learn quicker to a bunch of different people. And the craziest thing about it is it's not actually hooked up to the internet. It's 100 gigabyte file. Think about that. Like it can literally fit on a phone.
Yep.
Offline.
And when you search it, It was trained in what, 2001?
Yep.
Is the last information that it has about the world, right? So it doesn't have anything current. It doesn't scour the internet for answers. You can try it out yourself by going to chat.openai.com, set up a little account, and just start blowing your own mind. Last night I was home. So we had the story a couple weeks ago, or no, maybe I just sent you a text message, or was it LinkedIn? I don't know what my life is, but it was about an app that the kids could use. They're using the scan math word problems.
Yeah.
Right? They just take a picture of it and it solves the word problem for you. And we're like, here we go with this. Well, last night my son Miles has a dual enrollment class with, it's like high school college thing.
Right.
And he has to write a paper, like a 1,500 word paper. And he typed his thesis sentence into it. And it said, write me 1,500 words. It gave him a beautifully written article with 2 of the 3 ideas that he hadn't even considered yet. He's like, oh, I never considered that. Oh, I never considered that. So I don't know. I'm still trying to decide, right? Is that bad for him to do, or should he spend his time on other things? It does.
I think with all technology, the relationship with it is utilize it when it makes absolutely the most sense, but lean into the actual communication, actual thought leadership, actual opinion based and research based understanding of your brain. And then leverage technology to make things more efficient. And I think that there's plenty of business uses for this, especially when scale is involved. So I'm excited to just see how people utilize it and execute off of it.
Well, I don't think we have a choice at this point. It's coming. It's here. One thing it will never replace, ever, ever, ever. And that is 2 humans having a relationship in community, which is what we have. So take that, ChatGPT.